good morning, good afternoon and good evening to you, welcome to tube. Hope both today have been grand all around your world. Hello! Welcome to part 2 of how to play like John Frusciante Scar Tissue. Haha! Today I will be teaching the Slane Castle guitar solos 1, 2 and 3 in their entirety. So yes, without further ado, let's get to it. And at the end of the video I'm going to talk a bit more about how to kind of like, come up with your own solos, what scales to use. You can use some of the notes, obviously, that I'm going to show you today. And I'll probably come back to Scar Tissue at some point and teach you the original solos with a slide as well at some point. But today, just Slane Castle. Let's go for it. Okie dokie, so Scar Tissue, Slane Castle, first solo. Will be on the neck pickup of your guitar for this one. All the solos come out of, the whole song comes out of D, so everything comes out of D minor in Scar Tissue, everything's in D minor. The first solo is D minor's relative major, so it's F major. I'm trying not to get too deep into theory, I just want to kind of teach you the solos. But it's its relative major, so the first solo is an F major pentatonic scale solo, and it works its relative major. But anyway, enough on that, let me show you how to play it. So you start off on your 13th fret on your B string, and you hammer on to the 15th fret on your B string as well. So you can kind of hear how many times you need to play that. So 13th fret B string, hammer on to the 15th fret. So that's the start of it, and then you bend up the 15th fret a tone, and then release it. And then once you've released it down to the 15th fret note again, you go to your 13th fret on your B string. And that release is really important, it's nice and slow. Yeah, really, really nice. And then you go up to your 12th fret on your G string, hammer on to the 14th fret, no sorry, not hammer on, you go to your 14th fret on your G string, not hammer on. Dave, what are you doing, man? So 12th fret G string, 14th fret G string, and then you go back down to your B string between your 13th and 15th fret, and you play your 15th fret, pull off to your 13th fret on the B string, and then go back to your 14th fret on the G string. So far, if I do it really slow, I know it probably sounds really confusing, so I'll play it really slow and hope you can kind of see what I'm doing. So again, 13th fret on the B string, so one more time, really, really slow. Okay, and then we go back to the 12th fret on the G string, then to the 14th fret G string, and then go down to the 13th fret on the B string, play that twice, and then bend it up a tone to that note, bend up a tone, and then you finish up on the 14th fret on your G string, and then you hammer on from the 12th to the 14th, and then you go to your 16th, and then you bend that up a half tone, and then release it, and then you finish up on the 14th fret on your G string. So the whole solo, I'll try and do it Django right now style, really slow, it goes like this. So again, starting off on the 13th fret on the B string. Okay, one more time, really, really slow. Okay, Okay, so that's the first solo, and it's really, really gorgeous and nice and melodic, and it just flows, and it needs to flow. I'm pretty sure John on his DS2 in Slane Castle has got the distortion turned down, but it really doesn't matter either way. So again, and it's neck pickup that first solo. So let's move on to the second one now. Okay, so second solo of Scar Tissue, neck pickup again on the Strat with DS2, whack. And you want to slide, the first note you want to slide from your 10th fret on your high E to your 17th fret high E. And then you go to your 15th fret, and then you slide from a 15th fret with your first finger down to the 13th fret on your high E. So, and then you go back to your 15th fret, your 15th fret. Try and say that. That's hard work. And then you slide from your 13th fret to your 12th fret, and then you play your 13th fret. So from the 10th fret to the 17th, and then you fret your 15th, slide down to the 13th high E, 15th fret. God, that's really hard to say. And then slide down from the 13th to the 12th, and then fret the 13th, and then you go 12th fret, 15th fret B, like that. So 12th, 15th, 12th. So 10th fret to the 17th. So one more time, really super slow, because this is quite, it's a lovely sounding rundown, it's gorgeous. So 10th, 17th. Okay, and then you go back to your 15th fret and your B. Then you go to your 13th fret B. And then you do a pull off between the 13th and the 12th on the high E. And you go back to your 15th on the B. And then you go to your 13th fret B. And back to the 15th fret B. And then you do that pull off again. So the whole thing so far really super slow. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I hope it makes sense. There's a lot of kind of skipping, you know, from E to B strings. I'm trying to make it as clear as I can. It's quite difficult, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. So 10th fret, slide to the 17th to start with. So I missed out the... So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll do it one more time, really, really slow. Okay, so that's the kind of first part, if you will, of the second solo in Slane Castle. The next part, you want to be coming up all the way to your 20th fret. I will get it right. I need to count. I get confused. And then you bend this 20th fret up on your B string, a whole tone. So, and you really want to hear the bending up. You want to hear the... You want to hear that. You don't want to be straight to the note. You want to hear the... So you bend up a tone, and then you get your little finger. This is quite hard to do, but you bend that up and you get your little finger underneath and you fret the 20th fret on the high E. So you got those two notes. So like that. So the whole thing so far. Okay, so next part, when you've bent up the 20th fret and fretted the high E string on 20th fret, you release the B string and then you pull off to your 18th fret, like that, and you do that twice, like that, and then you go to your 19th fret on your G string. So that whole thing is. So one more time, bend up the 20th fret, hitting the 20th fret on the high E string with your little finger. Release, pull off, pull off, pull off twice, and then you go to your 19th fret on your G string. And you play that twice, and then you bend up the 20th fret again, and you do that again, so you hit the high E string 20th fret as well, and you do that again. So you do that twice, so that little phrase happens twice, okay? And then you bend up your 20th, so after, then you go, so you bend up your 20th fret again, a toe, and you release it up to the 17th fret. So you ought to be bend up the 20th, release, fret the 17th on the B string, and then you go 18th, 20th, and then bend up again. Yeah, so where was it? So this is kind of a bit of a weird bit, really. This is really, really cool. So after the bending up the 20th, you release it, you go back to your 17th fret, and then you go to your 18th, and then you go back to your 17th, hammer on back to your 18th, and then you bend the 18th up, and then release it, and that's the end of the second solo. So I'll do the whole solo really, really slow, and anything I've missed, hopefully you can see, because I'm a bit stupid and I tend to miss things sometimes. Anyway, moving along. So this is the whole solo really slow. I'll try and do it with two fingers, just apart from that bit, which I can't, just to kind of hopefully be able to see what I'm doing. So, starting on 10th fret high E. So, whole thing. So I'll do it one more time, and I'll try and do it right super, super, super slow. Okay, sweating everywhere today because it's really hot, and I've got a very, 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 very bright light on me. Anyway, so super, super slow mo scar. Anyway. I'm gonna do it one more time. Why not? Just just to be on the safe side, that you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm not making a total ass of myself, getting it wrong. So yeah, let's do it one more time. And again, you can kind of slide from anywhere. You can slide from the 13th and the 10th are probably preferable. Better notes. Let's not use big words, Dave. It's too warm. Anyway, so yeah, you can slide from the 13th on the high or the 10th. But either way, sounds good. You're not playing it long enough for it to really make much of an interest, so. Again, my skin got in the way. But anyway, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. If I've missed anything out, I do apologise. But, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing there. So that's the second solo scar tissue, and it's absolutely awesome. It's neck pickup. This is kind of, theory behind the second solo, just quickly. It's kind of more 5 positions of a pentatonic scale. This is, you're kind of running down through them. You know, you can kind of hear it sounds, you know, like a pentatonic-y kind of thing. So, you know, these are the 5 positions of a pentatonic scale coming out of F major / D minor. But anyway, you know, we're not more on that at a later date. But yeah, there are the notes. That's the second guitar solo. Let's move on to the last solo now, which is immense. Okay, so the last solo in Scar Tissue, John flicks down to his bridge pickup. The last solo is not on the neck, it's on the bridge. And you kind of hear this kind of white noise sound before he hits the first note, that bit. And what he's doing, it's like a combination of him turning on the DS2 and also flicking his select switch and also hitting kind of open strings. So out of the chorus, say this is the last time through the chorus, he kind of does this. I won't turn on the DS2, but I'll kind of show you what I mean. Kind of does that. I mean, that's kind of like extended and kind of out of time, but I'm just kind of doing it just to kind of show you what he kind of does. So kind of hits that, and it almost sounds like he turns on his wah pedal, but it's not his wah pedal. He's just going from his neck pickup to his bridge, and it gives you that kind of brighter kind of sound. So the first part of the last solo is this. You ought to be on the 20th fret on your high E and pull off to your 17th fret on the high E. So like that. So I'll do it 2 fingers. Okay, so that's kind of the first part. And then you play your 17th fret twice, like that, and kind of, yeah, you can kind of hear the beats that John puts in. And then you go back to your 20th fret, and then you bend it up a whole tone. So that's the whole, that's kind of the first little section of the last Scar Tissue solo. So pull off, twice, bend up, and it's best to kind of up pick. John up picks a lot when he bends it, because you don't, because you can get that if you down pick where the other strings come in, but he does do that in a minute. But anyway, moving along, back to this bit. So that's the first part. That's the first part, everybody. That's the first part. So really, really slow. I'll try and do it with 2 fingers, but it's quite hard. You know, I need that kind of finger there to support the bend. So I'll try and do it with 3, I'm afraid. Sorry. So pull off. That's the whole first section. So, okay, so one more time, really slow as I can get it without falling out of it. And then we end up on the 17th fret. You want to be on the 17th fret to start, and then we go up to the 20th fret on the B string, like that. So far. So that's where we are so far. Okay, so after that, the 20th fret on the B string, you want to be bending up the 18th fret on your high E, and then releasing it, bend it up and release it, back to the actual 18th fret now. And then to the 15th fret, then 17th fret. So far. And forget the rake, I'll just pull that in, I don't really know why. Okay, so that's it so far up to this point. Okay, so after this bit, you play the 17th fret again. So that's twice, so like this. And then you hammer on from the 15th to the 17th, pull off from the 17th to the 15th, and you go down to the 13th high E, 12th high E, 13th fret high E, and then we bend up the 15th fret a whole tone, twice like that. So one more time. And then once we release that bend, we do this kind of the same thing again, but it's kind of, instead of kind of going, we just go, kind of, it's the same thing, but instead of kind of like playing the 17th fret, we're just kind of releasing the bend to kind of like play that 17th fret now. Hopefully you kind of see what I mean there. So from this bit, so we end up back on the 13th fret there. So, you know, that's pretty, you know, straightforward so far. But I say, you're just kind of like doing certain little things. It's really, really cool. It's so awesome. It sounds immense, doesn't it? So cool. So, the whole thing so far, let's do it, why not, let's do it, is this. And then we do this, which is really cool. So you're playing the 15th and it's all pull off. 15th fret high E string, pull off to your 13th, and then pull off from your 13th to your 12th. Like that. It's really, really cool. And you'll need to know that for later on at the end of the solo, as most of you probably know and probably heard. So, where are we? Yeah. And then we go to the 13th fret B, 15th fret bend. So that's that. So and this next bit is probably the hardest bit of this solo to get. Well, kind of. It's, yeah, definitely. There's a mistake as well. I've got to kind of like teach you as well, which in a bit, which is going to be really hard to teach. But this is definitely the fiddliest bit of the solo. Okay, so after this bit, you do this, which is fairly straightforward little kind of like guitar trill thing, which is really, really nice. So what you're doing is you're starting your 15th fret B string, pull off to your 13th fret B string, and then you fret your 14th fret on the G string. And fast it just goes. And it's kind of best to alternate pick. So up for the pull off, and then down when you hit the 14th fret on the G. So like that, and then once you kind of get that, you can kind of speed it up. And you do it that many times, so it's... So I think it's 4 times. Yeah, 4 times you do that. And then he does this, which is... takes a bit of doing, it takes a bit of getting, this next bit does. Yeah, like I said, then he does this. Which is mad, but it's so cool. It sounds really lovely in the context of the song. So what you're doing here is you're still doing that trill. So pull off between the 15th and the 15th and the 13th on the B, finishing up on the 14th on the G, and then you're going down to your B and your high E strings, and you're pulling off between your 15th and your 13th on your high E, and then you're finishing it on your 15th fret on your B. So like that. And what it's best to do here is to use your first finger as a bar on the B and the high E strings, and use your kind of like your ring finger. Hopefully you can kind of see it. I'll try and do it with just like one finger, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So once you get kind of speeded up from that bit, you know, you can kind of get that kind of going, but it is really difficult. That is kind of the hardest bit of this solo by far. Yeah, it definitely is. It's kind of the hardest bit, but and it happens. You do this 8 times. So this is 1 time through, and so that happens 8 times. It's basically over the D minor bit of the chord progression. You kind of hear Flea doing playing it, and it happens over that D minor. And when it goes to the C, you change. So it changes to this. So after this, you do this. So you bend up the 12th fret on your G string, and then release it again to the 12th fret note. 10th fret G, 9th fret G, 10th fret G, and then you bend up your 14th fret on the G string, and then you release it and stay on the 14th fret. So out of the, you bend up the 12th fret, release, 10th, 9th, 10th, bend up 14th, like that. So that's that coming out of that bit. So and then we come down here to this bit, because we're now going down to the B and high E strings to finish the solo off. So 10th fret on the B string, and then go down to your high E string on the 8th fret, 10th fret. So we're going to, yeah, sorry, I will get this right in a minute, I promise. So 10th fret on the B string, 8th fret, high E, and then you bend up the 10th fret, a toe, down to your 8th fret again, and then back to your 10th. Okay, so yeah, so we're here. So that's the next part. So if I do it really, really slow, do it with 2 fingers. So one more time. Yeah, it's just very stereotypically John. It's amazing. Okay, so this next part, there's a kind of, I don't know if you call it a mistake, but it's kind of like John hits the open G string by accident. He doesn't look like he means to do it. He means to kind of get that note, but he kind of hits the open G, and as a result, it kind of this last little run he does where he comes up to that bit up there, kind of is a bit more rushed than the kind of maybe he would have preferred it. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, because that all the solos in Slane Castle are improvised anyway, so it's just kind of going with the flow, so to say. But to kind of like to get these notes right, it kind of to play it kind of note for note, you kind of have to get this in. So so coming out of our you know, you kind of hear that. It kind of sticks out, and you kind of hear it. It's kind of with the DS2, it's this kind of noise where it kind of hits the open string by accident. You don't need to do it, but you know, if you want to be kind of 100% accurate, you kind of need to put it in there. So where are we? So we go back to that. So this walk up is 10th fret on the high E, 12th fret high E, 13th fret high E, 15th fret, 17th fret, and we get to the 20th fret, and then you bend up the 20th fret, and then you release that, and then you go to your 17th fret, and then you're just hammering on the end of the solo between the 17th and the 20th fret. And what John does there, he gets his tremolo arm and he just dive bombs it slightly. And he does it like that. And then he finishes the whole solo with this bend on the B string on the 20th fret. And then he goes to the 15th fret on the B, 13th fret B, 15th fret B, back to the 30th beat, and then he hits his D string and dive bombs it slightly, and then just kind of like just shakes it, and the whole song actually ends on E on the Slane Castle to go into Around the World. So yeah, so that's the whole last solo. So going from that bit, you go. And Flea does his bass solo. Okay, so the whole solo is this. I'll do it normal speed and then I'll slow it down. So, here we go. Watch me mess up on the diddly dum bit. The diddly mania. Diddly mania, that's cool. Anyway, moving along. Yeah, I haven't told. So I'll do it really slow now. I'm going a bit crazy there. Ignore that last bit. That was me just pressing around. But either way, so yeah, that's all the solos to Scar Tissue. Slane Castle. Awesome solos, really cool. All at a key of D minor, I'll say, using the 5 positions of a pentatonic scale mainly, to kind of do some of those runs and whatnot. Some notes are modal, but I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, that's that. There's one thing I didn't teach in my last lesson, which I want to teach really quickly as well. Yeah, so before I start talking about kind of like, you know, how to create your own solos and my little theories behind that, I want to teach you this, because I've totally forgot to teach this in my last video. I thought I'd done it and I hadn't. It's another way of playing the riff. And it's up here. You know, and John does that version at Slane Castle. So what it is, it's exactly the same chord, but you're here instead of down there. And he normally would start the Scar Tissue off from 1999 to like maybe about 2004, 2005. He started it this way and played the riff down here instead of here. Normally Stadium Arcadium era, he plays it more down here. So what it is your first finger goes on the 3rd fret on your D string, and your little finger goes on the 5th fret on your high E. So that's your first chord, and then your next chord is first finger on the 3rd fret on the A, little finger on the 5th fret on the B, and then you slide that up to the 5th fret on the A and 6th fret on the B. You know, that's just one thing I wanted to quick get in before I start talking about you know, how to make your own solos and whatnot. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to get it in. that's all the solos. Yeah, so let me play them all again, just in clean, and then I'll talk about kind of like, you know, some theories of how to make your own. So on and so forth. I'm getting silly at the end there with a tremolo arm. Actually, I'd like to make a little quick amendment. I actually think he hits his open G string at the end there. So after the he does. It's his G string, not his D string. Sorry everyone, that's me being an idiot and not remembering the song correctly. And I've just remembered, so I'm happy I've remembered while doing the video. So there you go. So that's that. So let me move the camera back now and I'll talk a bit more about how to kind of like make your own solos to Scar Tissue. Okay, I hope that's... I hope you could see what I was doing. I hope you kind of like, you know, I hope it all made sense of what I was doing, that, you know, you could see what I was doing if I'd missed something out and whatnot. But yeah, solos are brilliant. So to make your own solos in Scar Tissue, you have to kind of really kind of inside John's head really to kind of like pass it off really nicely, because you've got to be really melodic with the solos, but you can't just kind of go crazy like mad all the time. There has to be some form of melody in there every now and again. I mean, like there are moments where John will just go ah, but he will come out of that as well. And like do like really lovely melodic phrases. I mean, like Slane Castle, that like diddly bit, how he comes out, you know, lovely little melody there to come out of that. And all of these kind of descending and ascending runs he does are just brilliant. I mean, stuff like that, it's very important. Scale wise, you want to be kind of focusing on D minor pentatonic and F major pentatonic. And also there's kind of like, I think I covered it in some of my theory lessons, but like the scale you kind of want to be working from is this. And then you got your F major pentatonic. So I think I've shown that. If I haven't shown it, I do apologise. I'll tell you it now really quick. So 10th fret low E, 13th fret low E, 10th fret A, 12th fret A, D string 10th fret, 12th fret D, 9th fret G, 10th fret G, 12th fret G, 10th fret B, 11th fret B, 13th fret B, 10th fret high E, 12th fret high E, and 13th fret high E. Those notes you can create some gorgeous guitar solos for Scar Tissue out of that, so you can kind of kind of hear it, it's got to flow, it's got to flow out of you. It can't be kind of rushed and staggered, so to say. So yeah, they're the scales we'll be using, that D minor pentatonic with the notes I just showed you. an F major, and also the notes you know now up here, for instance, like, you know, you can start incorporating them notes as well. So so yeah, and it's just a case of just think, like, what would John do? Kind of like try and get in your head some of your favourite John solos and just kind of go from there, really. Just kind of like try and channel him as best you can. You will get better at it as more, and the more you can hear it in your head and be able to hear and be able to play what you hear, you know, the better it'll be. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video on Scar Tissue. Again, I will come back to Scar Tissue at some point and teach you the Slide original album solos. But I'm going to take a break from this now to let you kind of like, you know, go away, learn these Slane Castle solos, which are absolutely amazing. I think my favourite is that first one. It's just absolutely brilliant. I love the first solo. And yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening. And I will see you again for another video very, very soon. Have a great one. Goodbye now.